Hey everybody, what's up? This is Kevin over at jkjohnson.com. 3 lessons that Wonder Woman taught me. I recently went out to go see the Wonder Woman movie by DC, just to go check it out to keep up with what's going on in the comic book world. Yes, I am a big comic book fan, given that I have 3 little ones and we're in this Marvel DC comic book phase right now. I'm so happy to be here versus being in the younger phase of a lot of cartoons and stuff of that nature. So I'm excited about being in this phase and a little more happier in that I get to secretly relive a lot of my childhood heroes and fantasies and stuff of that nature. But I'm going to talk about 3 lessons that Wonder Woman taught me or kind of reminded me of from a Christian worldview. 3 lessons that she reminded me of. Number one, there are unseen kingdoms, beings, and powers vying for influence over your heart, mind, and body. Who you let influence you affects your spiritual connection, and ultimately it affects your ultimate existence, your final destination with respect to where your soul rests in a Christian worldview. And this is very important to keep in mind and keep kind of in the foreground as you go about your life, and that it's often easy to forget that there's more to this reality than meets the eye from a Christian worldview, and also from I'm starting to see it even from a non-Christian worldview, the acceptance that there is more to life than formerly taught or believed, and especially with respect to my generation. It's becoming more accepted that there is a spiritual, or at least there are other dimensions of being or places, or however you want to put it. So whether the comic book story of Wonder Woman is myth, fable, made up, or whatever, it just reminded me that from a Christian worldview, this is a worldview that is a matter of reality for us. And it got me to thinking about verses like Ephesians 6 and 12. Let me go there real quick. Let me read it. Let me put in some word here real quick. Something that's sustenance and that's going to have you thinking and kind of bring some things back to your remembrance. Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So we can't forget that the battle for your soul, the battle for your mind, heart, and body, it rages on, and that some of these whispers or some voices that you may hear may be vying for influence in your life in some way, shape, or form. So you have to be mindful of this and be mindful to guard your every area or avenue into your soul that you can. This is why it's important to make sure that you have a spiritual connection with the Father and that you have a relationship through His Son, Jesus Christ, because there's a lot of stuff going on out there. Ephesians 2 and 2. Let me go there real quick. Ephesians 2 and 2. Wherein time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. So in Ephesians 2 and 2, we see that we're reminded that in the children of in men that choose to live a lifestyle of disobedience to the commands, to the instructions of the Father through His Son Jesus Christ. We see that people who willingly and consciously and with full awareness of what they're doing on a continual basis and have no intention of changing They have been influenced and allowed themselves to be influenced and hardened in their pattern worldly secular behavior under the guidance and seduction, the leading of the prince of the power of this air. So we have to be mindful of this again, that we cannot give our eyes, our ears, our mouth. We have to be mindful of what we allow to go into our heart, because out of that is the treasure of the heart. The mouth speaks. And we understand that the mind is the control center. You get somebody's mind, everything else follows. So it's important, it's essential. Be encouraged to remember some of these things. And that's all this show today is designed to do, is to bring back some things of remembrance and to remind you to be mindful of some things, and to, that the lessons can be seen anywhere. Let's go to Colossians 1:13. Colossians 1:13. I'm just going through some verses very quickly to remind you, as you live your life, that to be mindful of these things. We have to guard and keep these things in our foresight. Colossians 1:13. Let me go there real quick. You might be able to hear the train in the background. Who hath delivered us from the power of darkness, and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son. Translated. Let me see that. I was looking for that word. Carried away into, disposed, turned, exchanged. So, we all were in darkness, in the kingdom of darkness, or the kingdom of darkness had influence and reign over us. But through the acceptance of Jesus Christ and the love of the Father, we have been translated, we have been exchanged, carried over into his kingdom, the kingdom of heaven. So just remember that as you go about your day-to-day business, that there remains, and also there will always be the overshadowing or the overlay of another dimension, whether you're fully cognizant or aware of it or not. And if you consider yourself a Christian or one who was called out, then this is something that we have to keep and be mindful of. Number 2, the choice is yours. You can eat. Free will is always available. Free will never stops. It's one of those cosmic rules of the game, as if you may, that human free will must always be. It cannot be violated. So you can either choose life or death. It's your choice, like as to whom you allow to influence your behavior. People are vessels, and who they fill themselves up with, who they allow to influence them, will ultimately affect the outcome. And it will have a great effect on your life, your lifestyle, your quality of life, your length of life. This is just the reality that we live in. We can see it. We see it. I mean, it's really simple. It's not hard. If you don't, just like I used to work at an organic farm, and if the farmer didn't put good nutrients and good food into the ground, good seed into the ground, he wasn't going to get no good harvest. Same thing with your life. If you don't put good things in your life, if you don't allow the good nutrients and things that your life needs, if you don't put those things in your life and allow those things to come into your life, guess what's going to happen? Your quality of life is going to suck, and your health is going to suck, and your mind is not going to be clear. You're going to be confused. You're going to be hazy. You're not going to be able to think straight or with logic. You're not going to be able to be very creative. All the things you're supposed to and meant to do with your mind, you're not going to be able to make the connection needed to that deep quantum computer, that deep infinite known as deep, infinite consciousness, God the Father. You're not going to be able to make that connection and keep it. These are things that you need in your life. So the choice is yours. Deuteronomy 30:19. It brought me back to that. Free will. Well, the garden actually. That's the reason. 2 trees. You tell them only eat one. The choice is the humans. The choice is the humans, right? You do what I say or don't do it. There are consequences for both. Consequences and reward. But let me go to Deuteronomy 30:19. I like this. Deuteronomy 30:19. Just speaking some words of reminding and encouragement to you today to continually choose hope and continually make the choice to choose life. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. So the choice, God always gives the choice to you on who you're going to choose to listen to and follow. Let's go to Proverbs 3:5. Proverbs 3:5. Just doing some little reminding and encouraging today before as you go along your day-to-day business. Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. Go to 6. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Go to number 7. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. I'll stop there. So we see that God is asking for your trust, your faith, where you align yourself with, your confidence. He's asking for your heart. That is your emotional life, your feelings. He's asking for the seat of the soul. He's asking for your heart. And lean not unto thy own understanding. He's asking for your intellect, your mind. He's asking for your knowledge, and he's asking that your thought life is given over to him. And when you do this, he's not gonna steer you wrong. He's gonna steer you in the right direction, one that's gonna lead to life. Well, how can you say that, Kevin? Well, let me go to let me see. Hold up. Let me go to 1 John 4:8. And this brings me to my last point that I learned from Wonder Woman, that love is the answer. 1 John 4:8. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. So love is the answer, because God is love, and love has determined nothing but peace for you. That's all he wants, is just straight up, just peace in its fullness for you. And he even proved it with action. 1 John let me see. 1 John 4:19. Let me go down to 4:19. He proved it to us first. In action. We love him because he first loved us. And then, of course, you can go to John 3:16. Let me go to John 3:16. Just doing some reminding for you this morning, some words of encouragement and hope that's going to help you frame your mind for good thoughts and get your heart resonating and for peace and for whatever. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And that's life in the fullest sense. Everlasting. That means perpetual life. And from a Christian worldview, when you die, simply go to sleep, waiting to wake up in the face, in the presence of the Almighty, to live with Him forever. So the choice is yours. Just wanted to take a quick moment just to remind you and encourage you, and just speak words to add value in your life in some way, shape, or form. Now, before I get off here, I want to talk about 4 simple tactics for a holistic life that I learned when it came to lessons learned from Wonder Woman, to help me stay strong in this battle known as life, and to continually keep choosing life. I mean, this is something you have to choose on a regular, consistent basis. It's very easy in this world that we live in to get off track, to get sidetracked. It often happens to all of us at some point, to get distracted, to get just out of the way. But you got to know that you have the availability to redeem, get up, dust yourself off, get back on track, and keep going. And here's some tactics, 4 simple tactics that I learned by watching Wonder Woman, that kept her fit and kept her strong and kept her on course, and kept her making the right decisions, even though it was hard at times to make the right decisions. Know your origin story and know your purpose and design. She learned a little bit about this as time went on, but the more she learned, the stronger she became as far as who she was and what her design was, her purpose in life was. She didn't know it all at once. We all don't know all our the truth about every aspect of the what, when, whys, and things, questions of those natures, hows in our life all at once. But it's something that we often learn over time. And as she learned who she was and her origin story and the truth, the more stronger she became about herself, the more she found it to make the right decision, even though it wasn't always convenient for her. Number 2, she kept a fit body. She worked out. Her body was prepared for battle. Her body was prepared for war. She wanted peace, but if there was war or battle or struggle or conflict that was needed to be had, she was like, give it to me. Come get some. So that's how you want to be in your day-to-day life, going about peaceful. You want to be fit. You want to be functional. You want to be agile. You want to be mobile. You want to be lean and mean and a ready moving machine, fit for whatever, whether it be play, whether it be war, whether it be just to go to the grocery store and not hurt like the Tin Man. You know what I'm saying? So she kept a fit body. And number 3, she maintained a fearless heart. What this means is she kept her heart pure, and she did not let fear resonate in her heart whatsoever. Her heart was so mended and so whole and so at peace with the way with things that she kept a fearless heart. And you could see where there were moments in her life where that became shaken, and that her belief and in man and in the way things were supposed to be, the conflict between the ideal and the reality did not shake her heart one bit. It did not shake it. So she kept a fearless heart. Number 4, she had a determined mind. She was well educated. She was a clear thinker. She was sober. She could actively choose to believe. She was very intelligent, smart, and creative. So we see that she had a determined mind set on doing the right things. And she cultivated that over a lifetime, and she continually cultivated and had to look at things and had to continually remind herself about things and 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 continually dwell on her understanding of man and who she was, and her role, which helped affect her actions and gave her the will and the courage to do the things she needed to do. So just wanted to take a few moments to encourage you, inspire you, and add value to your life, and remind you that there's more to this world than meets the eye. The choice is yours, who you allow to influence your life, and that love is always the right choice. And also the Wonder Woman movie, I give it 2 thumbs up. It was a good movie, and it was worth a few bucks that it took to go see it, and worth a little time to go escape and watch it. So this is Kevin over at jkjohnson.com. Just wanted to speak a little words of encouragement to you today as you go about your daily task. With that, may his face shine on you and give you peace.